What is going on, everyone? We are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
Hello, Depraved.
Yes, we are. Alright, so Skeem dropped an epilogue, a part 2
Alright.
to the YouTube scene.
Alright.
And leading up to this, he was giving everybody on Twitter a chance to get their last shots in, because after this was to drop, he's no longer going to take part in arguments with the YouTube rap community.
Got it. Okay. Alright.
So that was fun. I don't think anybody actually did, though.
Like,
but he went on some
shots?
he went on some shots on like Screw and stuff. You know, well deserved ones.
okay. Okay.
But
But then after this, the conversation's supposed to be closed.
Right.
Okay.
So super excited to check this out. It looks like it picks up pretty much
Yep. Same graveyard.
where the last one left off. So I'm excited for this.
Alright. So let's do it.
We're going to react to this. If you guys have already seen it, if not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to all things. Come on back with that because we're a commentary, reaction, breakdown, comedy channel. And what that means is we will pause for any and or all of the above. It's time to break down. This is Epilogue from We Skeem. Death to YouTube Rap Part 2.
Okay.
Let's get it.
I know one of you never was the one to scrub you fucking inbred.
Last lines. Alright. So pretty cool. Do you know how hard it would be to accurately
Skeem?
do that in those gloves?
I don't think you're plugged in, homie.
Right. But, you know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, like, I'm not saying you cannot be a pianist with gloves because obviously they used to perform in them.
I mean, you should always put gloves on your penis.
But.
Oh, pianist. Okay.
But not those type.
Right.
Right.
People keep writing me, trying to start fights with me. I see, I am the fighting type after all. So let's see. There was a time that I thought that I really had friends, but it ends when I saw that it was just excitement and chasing the trends. And somehow I had become one. Hey, look at him, mystery man. He must have a plan, he packed it so well. Chase on a whim, see if we can discover his spell, escape our own hell. Tear off his mask, let's see what we find. The ugliest task we can't leave behind. Sell us your soul, ours left long ago. If you won't comply, we'll leave you to die. My mind doesn't quite work.
I don't think you could purr any louder.
So, people that befriended him because he had a, gimmick that they wanted to see behind.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Honestly, it's not even just that. We kind of touched on this on a song. It was our Silent Theory reaction.
Oh, okay. Living on a dream. Or living the dream, sorry.
Where people befriend you when you start to become more famous.
Right.
If they feel they can get something back from it.
But it shouldn't be called befriending.
Well, right.
Right. No, I'm
But
agreeing. Like,
they paint it as a, hey, yeah, we're cool.
you're awesome.
You're awesome.
We love what you do.
We love what you do. Let's hang out.
Right.
But the moment you kind of show them, like, yeah, we can be cool, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to do shit for you.
Right.
Some of them disappear.
Or
a lot of them disappear.
I'm not going to do the same old thing all the time that you love, or
Right.
I don't know. It's a sad truth in terms of gaining attention for whatever your craft is.
Right.
I did like the sell us your soul because they're trying to replace the ones they've already sold.
Right.
Leave you to die. My mind doesn't quite work the way that theirs do. It's true, some of it's better than them, and others, well, call it confused. When I'm expressing the simplest views, I see that it's distressing for all of you, and you want me to say that I'll try to be better, but I'm not lying for you. You see all of my life.
I'm not going to dumb this down for you.
Right. Right. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
If you don't get it and you're too stupid to keep up, you're too stupid to keep up. I'm sorry. We dumbed it down for you guys.
I mean, it was funny, though.
True.
She keeps looking back at me and making eye contact. Kind of like,
He's
are you
mine.
jealous yet? And it's like, no, really not. Like, no.
And she
Not
just
working.
turned around so she can make it easier on herself.
Well, now she's going to make moony eyes at you because, you know.
Lying for you. You see all of my life. They said I was different, but I saw myself as the same and took all the blame for the flames that I stoked when evoking their fears of strangeness they've cast out for years. But I see no peers. I'm not one of you, and I don't wanna be. Try to teach and then control me, and now that I know, I won't bend the knee. So they come for me. Look at him, Miss.
I liked that too.
So we won't bend the knee.
Well, not that. No, just more the, like... again, it's a rough part of being younger, but so many younger people, especially in high school, really give up who they are in order to be accepted and to impress others. And Skeem very much is like, that was never me.
Right.
I accepted who I was at a much younger age, obviously playing more into now where everybody out here that complains, oh, Skeem doesn't rap like the other people, the
Yeah,
other
but
guys
there's
on
never-
YouTube do.
He's never tried to. Never
And
intended
that was
to.
never his intention. His
Right.
intention was always to be himself. And
Although
a
he
lot of us
said-
don't learn that until we're older.
He said at a time he thought he was the same as everybody else, and took all the blame for everyone being, you know, kind of pissed off. But he's not the same and never has tried to be. I mean that he is very unique in that
Right.
aspect.
and like I was saying,
I was borderline in junior high school. Like I already knew people hated me, and I was okay with it.
right.
And I really, there was a lot of peer pressure that I did not fall into. And I'm not just talking about like the normal drugs and stuff like that. Like I just didn't even try because I didn't want to associate myself with the people that were around me at the time. I just didn't. So, but that made me even more introverted. Now, I'm not going to say that I've never fallen, you know, that I've not given in to peer pressure at some point, because I certainly have, in terms of wanting to be accepted and liked. But that has, for me, mostly been in relationships and staying too long and that kind of thing, versus standing up for myself and being like, no, this is bullshit and you need to move out.
Right. So I think for me, I never, other than church, and that was just to kind of save my own hide around my parents, I never pretended to be something I wasn't.
Right.
But I chameleoned myself into all the groups at school just to stay invisible.
Right. Makes sense to me.
Because if I'm too much of myself, I'm going to stand out. That's going to cause kids to pick on me.
Right.
But if I at least chameleon myself enough into each of these groups, they're going to know just enough of me that they leave me the fuck alone.
Right. I mean, like...
I didn't gain a lot of friends that way.
Acquaintances.
Or acquaintances. But, well, no, I didn't gain a lot of friends that way. I gained acquaintances, people that I talked to
No,
at
that's
school.
what I meant. You did gain acquaintance.
Right.
No, I mean, like, I get that, too, because church for me was, like, my parents made me go. And I stopped liking it after 5th grade, maybe. But it was also the kids there. And they were the same kids at my school, too. So, when I finally was allowed to go to public school in 10th grade, I also had put my foot down about going to church. Year, maybe 2 years before, because, you know. Anyway, I did the same thing when I hit public school. Like, I made one really good friend, and for the year that I was there, she was who I hung out with. And it's not that I have the ability to fit in with most people, so the chameleon type thing, except for I fit in with them with, like, genuine, and I know you did too, but just to make it clear, with genuine interest in certain aspects of that group, but not, like, the group as a whole. So I could go and chat with, the really smart kids about subjects that interested us, or aspects of, history, whatever. Or I would go hang out with the musical theater kids, or, but each group held certain interests of mine, and therefore I could, and it just depended on the day who I wanted to talk to, or if I ditched because I didn't want to talk to anybody.
And again, that's a big part of what I did too. Like, I feel like it's followed me now as to an adult, where I know a lot, but I know a little about a bunch of things.
Right.
I don't know a lot about any one thing.
Right.
I'm
very Renaissance man type.
I know random tidbits about just a bunch of stupid shit that doesn't even really fucking matter.
I mean, like, I think it matters. But anyway, I get what Skeem is saying here, because, again, I don't feel like I've ever been on trend. And I think that part of the whole thing that he was feeling is maybe people thought he was on trend because of his gimmick, and the fact that he was put into this group, the YouTube rap group. But then people were like, but that's not even, you're not even doing do you even rap, bro? And he's like, no, I never said I did.
Right.
So, it doesn't matter how inured you are to it. It still hurts when it's at least disappointing.
Right.
When people you thought were legitimately into, hiccup, aren't. Yeah, or they're into you for all the wrong reasons,
True. It's almost nursery rhyme-esque. Mm-hmm. I liked that a lot.
Definitely,
and
like,
it's relatable.
A much more, like, emotional sounding.
Right.
And it's interesting that he chose to make his epilogue, sort of a intro almost. Because it's supposed to be a year ago.
Right.
So it's a prequel.
I think a lot of it is... So if he wrote this a year ago, this would be just around the time
when everything sort of fell apart.
The cookout got canceled. Everything started to fall apart for, like, everyone in the YouTube scene.
Right.
And, again, a lot of people seem to have, at the time, thought that a lot of it had to do with Skeem. The cookout
there was just a lot of blame bandied about.
I think people were just trying to pin blame on somebody. Yeah. And Skeem was the new thing to pin blame on.
It was an easy target at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And even then, I had told people, and we'd actually talked about it in our thing last week when we did our thing. The Twitter Spaces. Somebody had asked about the YouTube stuff and what I felt, and somebody had asked me, they're like, hey, I think it might have been Duel.
I don't remember, but it was a question, and it related to the Death to YouTube, the first one.
Right, and they said if we had thought that Skeem was
part of the reason,
was either the reason or part of the reason why things got canceled, and I was honest. I was like, I'm not 100% sure. And here's the thing. Was he, even if he was he the main reason? No. I said everything was disintegrating everywhere.
Yeah.
I said, so if he did play a part, and it was a very small part of it.
It's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, if it was anything at all. Yeah. Right.
But, and again, I do feel like I was partially wrong about that, because, especially after watching Skeem's video, the one thing Crypt didn't do, and Skeem explained this in the video explaining his song, was Crypt never came out and really got Skeem off the hook in terms of what was going on. They had talked privately a couple times.
And Mama Crypt did say some stuff publicly, but again, you would expect your friend to be the one that stood up for you and said, nope, obviously miscommunication, let's not start the gossip wheel. This did not cause this, instead of being silent, which is fucking unfortunate.
And to be honest, so when everything was going on before it got canceled, we'd actually, by we I mean I, had gotten an email. It was either an email or a message from somebody in that camp. I'm not gonna put anybody on blast or anything like that, but a lot of people know that Kat and I do not get along with another reactor in the reaction community. But we don't go out of our way to tear them down. Again, I'm not even going to mention who they are. But they were apparently also going to be at the cookout. And, things are going to be weird, and I feel like this should have been the first kind of almost...
Oh, it was for me.
Red
you
flag?
You were super excited about it, so...
I'd gotten an email asking...
if we were going to be okay.
If we were going to be okay being in the same place as this person. And here's the thing. I don't hate anyone. At least at this point in my life. When I was a teenager, I hated a lot of people.
Right.
I don't hate anyone. And
oh, I do. But, this is not that situation.
No. And
it's a waste of time. It really is a waste of my personal emotional time. Right. Now, that is not to say that I don't hate certain people that have nothing to do with any of the reactor, YouTube, whatever. Right. When I think of them, which at this point, thank God, is very rarely. However, this is someone we've never met in person. Like, there's nothing.
Right.
I nothing them.
And yeah, it was one of those things where I explained in the email, I was like, first off, I would never, again, growing up Midwestern, I do have a Midwestern sensibility to me. I would never...
That has nothing to do with me.
Go to somebody else's house and get myself involved in anything.
Oh, that's just called respect. Well, I'm sure that maybe you guys are taught a little bit like hardcore or given more modeling on that. However, I have older parents and I was taught respect. And drama is drama, and it's yours, and that means it doesn't belong at somebody else's.
That is something that should be taught. Unfortunately, it's not.
Ah.
Not in a lot of places.
Okay. Well, I'm also too much of an introvert to make a scene.
But yeah.
Unless it is absolutely necessary.
There's nobody that could have shown up there.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Screw, that I would have felt weird about. But even then, it's not like I would start shit with him.
I mean, unless my exes started showing up, I wouldn't feel weird.
Right.
Again, it was also supposed to be a large amount of people, easy to avoid one person out of the entire group that was going to be there. It's just,
When I had to explain that in the email, there was something that was going off in my head that was like, that shouldn't even be an email.
I was already at that.
Not that I was mad that they sent the email.
No, it was...
But that... Since we didn't get along with somebody, they had already heard about it, and we don't even talk about it in public.
But that's the thing. Public. That's the thing, is we had not spoken about us not getting along with them publicly to anyone at that point.
I think the only people we had told...
were very close...
was Skeem, to be honest.
I think maybe one other person, but they were very close and closed-mouthed people. Which means the only person that could have said that we did not get along is that person.
Right.
And had to have been said to the person that emailed us. Now, again, we're also adults, and it should have been taught to you, and that's a big no-no. But warning bells were already going off in my brain. And you know what? It was going to be a lot of people, and I'm an introvert, and I didn't want to.
Now, and I've said this before, and
it already made it feel weird.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. As far as, and it'll be the last time we talk about the situation in a YouTube format, unless something comes up that brings it up again. But would I have loved to have taken part in that situation had it continued to go and everything played out as it should have? Yes, there were. A crap ton of...
The year before looked like a blast.
Yeah, the year before looked like a blast, and there were tons of people that we were in contact with that were planning on going that we would love to see in person. Atlas was going to be there. Gone was going to be there.
Massive Man
was going to be there.
Just
Blitz
people that we already
there.
speak to that we would have liked to have met in person. Yeah.
So missing out on a chance to get to meet everybody, I would have loved to have gotten to talk with Koofy.
Right.
And just so many people that we would have loved to have just said hi to, talk to. I think we were even heard that the dads were thinking about showing up again.
I was super excited.
And Scriptwork was who I based our channel off of.
I wanted to see Lex.
There were tons of people we wanted to just meet, even if it was like the only time we ever see them in our lives.
And just
it would have been cool to sit down and meet with them. But at the end of the day,
and honestly, Crypt
and Crypt, at the end of the day, I think the way everything planned out worked the best for us. We got to actually spend some time and actually talk with, again, more of our other favorite people. Skeem, Postcard,
It
Gats,
was a smaller group,
Grizzy.
so it was quality time, too.
Yeah. And I think
it was
things
closer.
like that work better in a smaller group setting because you actually get to spend more quality time with individuals that you get along with.
Well, and some of them we hadn't met in person yet either, but it was also...
only Postcard and Grizzy. Everybody else we'd already met.
It was also closer. Because...
Much closer. We live in Indiana. We live in the same state they do. I think it was like a 2.5 hour drive, if that.
No, it was about 45 minutes.
Was it 45
Yeah.
minutes? Why do I keep thinking it was 2.5 hours?
I have no idea, but that's why I looked at you like that. Anyway, it was super close, and I honestly don't do well on long car rides for multiple reasons, but it worked out very well.
It did.
So anyway, I understand where he's coming from. This not just related to the YouTube scene.
No, but I think so where I was going with all that, with this being written around the time all of that happened, it definitely relates big time to everything that had gone down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did kind of turn their back on Skeem.
No, he got scapegoated.
We watched it happen.
Yeah. He definitely got scapegoated.
And it was bullshit. He should have never been the one. And if I'd played any part in it, again, I'd told people that I wasn't sure. He might have been like that last straw. Mm-hmm. But again, I wasn't in the know. Crypt didn't say anything to anybody. I do apologize for that. If I was involved in any way. I don't fucking remember at this point. Here's
the thing, though. Like, as far as I saw it, because, again, you were super excited about going. I'm never super excited about going anywhere. Let's just put it that way. I'm just not. Are there people that I want to meet in person? Are there people that I will walk out the door to go meet? Yeah, there are. And would I have enjoyed going to the cookout once we got there? I would not have enjoyed the process but once we got there.
Right.
But it seemed like such a big moving thing to me. And those, I always take a very realistic, bordering on cynical view of ahead of time. Because I have never seen something that has so many separate individual moving parts work out well in the long run. So knowing that so many people were going to be there and that we were even having people that were, and this is, I mean, the emails included, but there were other elements of like, well, so-and-so doesn't get along with so-and-so. Are we sure that it's okay to have both of them there? Like there was talks about that from other people too. So I was sitting there like, yeah, this is all feeling very like sketchy to me in terms of how well it's going to work out. So when it fell apart, I was dismayed because he was really upset.
Also, so at the end of the day, something else this does. This game's gonna be like, motherfucker.
Well, I mean, like, obviously it got us to think and ponder, and therefore...
we have gotten...
Pontificate.
We have gotten to this point as a society, and it's evolved over time. It started with participation trophies,
and
has now
the
turned...
letter of the word for today is P.
Right. And has turned into what it is, where everyone feels like they should be included. You call me an asshole if you want. It is okay to exclude people from things.
Yeah.
It is okay to look at people and be like, you know what, you're not going to fit in this situation. No, you cannot come. Right. And I feel like even if it means us, in terms of like the cookout, like, you know, if really that other person was, you know, definitely wanted there, they'd planned to be there, and, you know, we're now the topic of conversation, just tell us no.
Right.
You will never see me be all like, man, fuck that, man. Why are you going to invite this person? I'm not that way. I don't fucking, like, obviously honored if we're invited. If not, cool. I mean, there's other shit I can do.
Yeah, like,
but no,
home.
in the grand scheme of things, it is okay to exclude people from things. And that's for any of your guys' groups out there. Board game community. Again, I'm a part of so many different fucking things. Board game community. I was watching somebody talking about a D&D group who... This guy was causing problems within their D&D group, but the reason they have their group is because so many people were excluded prior that they wanted more people to feel included. And it's like, well, if they're not mixing with your group...
it doesn't work.
Tell them to go away.
Yeah.
Because something that's supposed to be a fun pastime should not be stressful.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But that...
I guess that's what I was saying with, like, so many moving parts. And honestly, again, it's like, it goes way, way, way back to... probably pre-K for me. Like, people don't mix well together. There's always going to be the oil and the water. And, you know, for something like the cookout, it just, it was such a hit the first 2 years that it just sort of spiraled out of control. Like, it got bigger and more people wanted to come. And I love the feeling of hospitality and inclusivity that the Crips were trying to have. I 100% give them A for effort, and it was wonderful. Like, we were honored to be invited, so on and so forth. But I could see it spiraling out of control. Like, just thinking about having to cook for the amount of people that wanted to come. Or the last minute, oh my God, by the way, I'll be there. I have my everything booked, and be like, we didn't even know you were coming, kind of thing. Like, that kind of stuff takes time. It takes planning. It takes effort.
Also,
at some point, you got to put a cap on it. You know?
For those of you that get invited to things, or I'm sorry, for those of you that hear about people getting invited to things, don't invite yourself. Don't just tell people you're going to show up. If somebody doesn't come to you and say, hey, you're invited, don't do that.
Don't just show up. RSVP. And also, like, provide something, or at least offer to. You know?
And pulling it back around full circle. Always, guys, in terms of also with this song, be yourself. Don't ever be afraid to not be yourself.
Unless you can be a dragon.
Unless you can be Batman. If you have a chance to be Batman, definitely be Batman.
Batman. I mean, like, I got Bruce Wayne. Take the billions and the tech and everything.
I would love to be Batman. Anyways.
At least choose someone with superpowers, like legit ones.
Although
I do want
they retconned him actually having superpowers.
I do want the billions and the tech and... Anyway, I liked this.
Money is a superpower. Ask Iron Man.
Well, I mean, that mixed with his IQ, sure.
Batman is super fucking smart too, though.
Well, yeah, but like...
Okay, sorry. Anyways, fantastic fucking song. If you guys want to hear more of what actually happened, check out his actual video for...
Breakdown.
His breakdown for Death to YouTube Rap Part 1.
Right. From his point of view.
It's on his We Stream channel. Like I said, I watched it the other day. There were things that I didn't even know about in it. So, and I'm glad that I got to watch it because it cleared a lot that I was confused about.
Right.
So definitely go check that out. We got most of the name call-outs pretty spot on.
Okay.
So that was fun.
It's always nice to
We may have gotten
right.
some of the reasonings that they were in there wrong. But the names we had.
Right.
But yeah, again, fantastic song. I actually like this probably more than the other one because this one was more from... It felt more from the heart, but it's probably because you were singing.
I like the other one because, you know what? Fuck everybody.
They do go hand in hand.
The two sides of Skeem's personality. A, B. There you go.
But yeah, so definitely, and if you guys don't follow Skeem, follow him. He's
Right. If you made it this far
a
in our
great
video.
fucking dude to follow on Twitter. It's fun to watch him get into the said arguments or calling stupid people out as they should be.
I don't follow anyone.
She doesn't. She's
Well, I mean, like, I hit the follow button because I'm a nice person. For most,
she's barely
not,
on Twitter.
Yeah,
she's more of an
exactly.
Instagram person.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Twitter person.
No, really, I'm not. No.
You're more of an Instagram person than Twitter.
That's only because I talked to Aviva through the DMs.
It counts. Anyways, we loved it. So if you guys liked the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below. What did you think of We Skeem Epilogue? Also comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all things.
Push our buttons. Come join us on our other social media platforms. Mostly him.
30
because
fucking minutes.
Obviously, I don't do anything.
We love you guys. Thank you all for watching. We'll see y'all later.